Imagine waking up one day and realizing that your career no longer fulfills you, that the excitement, purpose, and passion you once felt have been replaced by monotony, frustration, or even regret. Many people believe that reinventing a career requires a grand gesture, quitting your job, moving to another country, or going back to school for years. But the truth is far more empowering and far more accessible. Sometimes all it takes is 6 small, intentional actions, consistently applied, to shift your entire professional trajectory. These actions aren't dramatic or headline-worthy, but they're powerful, cumulative, and transformative. They don't demand that you burn bridges, start from scratch, or take reckless risks. Instead, they invite you to build quietly, steadily, and smartly, reshaping your career not through chaos but through clarity. The first small action is learning one new skill each month. In the digital age, knowledge is currency. Platforms like YouTube, Coursera, Udemy, and countless others make it easier than ever to learn new skills, whether it's graphic design, data analytics, copywriting, or a new language. Dedicating even 20 minutes a day to learning a new skill not only keeps your mind sharp but also expands your toolbox. Over time, this simple habit builds your versatility and makes you more valuable in any professional context. The skill you choose today might be the one that gets you hired, promoted, or even launched into an entirely new field tomorrow. The second action is networking with intention. Set a goal to connect with at least one new person each week, whether it's through LinkedIn, local events, online communities, or mutual connections. These aren't superficial interactions, but genuine conversations where you seek to learn, share, and build rapport. Over time, these touchpoints compound into a network of allies who can offer insights, open doors, and help you navigate new opportunities. Your next big breakthrough may not come from your resume. It may come from someone who believes in your potential because of one authentic conversation. The third small but transformative action is creating consistent public value. In today's connected world, visibility equals opportunity. By sharing what you know, even in small doses, you position yourself as a voice within your niche. This could be through writing LinkedIn posts, starting a simple blog, creating short-form videos, or posting thoughtful threads on X, Twitter. You don't need thousands of followers. What you need is clarity, consistency, and authenticity. When you consistently show up and share your ideas, experiences, and insights, people start to associate your name with value. That brand equity begins to attract inbound opportunities, freelance work, partnerships, invitations, job offers, speaking engagements. You no longer chase success, you magnetize it. And here's the beauty. Even just one post a week can spark this process. Over time, these drops form a wave of credibility that can carry you into entirely new spaces. The fourth action is setting a weekly career audit session with yourself. 10 to 15 minutes every Sunday night or Monday morning, dedicated to a simple reflection. What did I learn this week? What progress did I make toward my goals? Where did I get stuck? What can I improve? This small window of intentionality becomes a lighthouse. Most people coast through their careers on autopilot, reacting, not directing. But when you take this time to assess, recalibrate, and recommit, you start to move with purpose. You become more strategic in how you spend your time, more aware of your growth areas, and more in control of your path. It's like adjusting the compass each week. You may not notice the shift day by day, but over months your trajectory radically changes. And because this process trains your self-awareness, it also helps you avoid burnout, spot opportunities earlier, and make decisions aligned with your long-term vision. The fifth action, perhaps the most underrated, is offering help before you ask for help. We often think of networking as trying to get something, advice, intros, opportunities. But the most effective networkers are givers first. They send job leads to friends, recommend others for opportunities, offer to review resumes, or simply share words of encouragement. Why does this matter? Because generosity builds goodwill, and goodwill builds a reputation. Over time, the people you've helped become your allies. They remember your kindness, they recognize your name, and when doors open, they think of you. It's not about being transactional, it's about planting seeds of trust. And just like a farmer knows, a field of trust yields fruit when the season is right. Even small 5-minute favors can become career-changing catalysts months or years down the road. The energy you put out into the world circulates, amplifies, and inevitably returns. Finally, the sixth action is designing a career experiment every 90 days. Too often we wait until we're miserable to pivot, but pivots don't have to be reactive. They can be proactive, playful, and low risk. Every few months, choose a small project or challenge that stretches you beyond your current role. Launch a side hustle. Volunteer for a cross-functional team. Join a hackathon. Start a newsletter. Teach a workshop. These experiments are like test flights. They allow you to explore new altitudes without fully leaving the ground. You gain insights into what energizes you, what frustrates you, what you're naturally good at, and where you need to grow. And perhaps most importantly, you begin to reclaim your agency. You're no longer just responding to the job you were given. You're designing the career you want. Over a year, 4 experiments could dramatically sharpen your self-awareness, build new proof of work, and unlock future possibilities that weren't even on your radar. What makes these 6 small actions so powerful is not their size. It's their consistency. Like drops of water over stone, their impact is revealed over time. They're manageable, sustainable, and adaptable. You don't need to abandon your job tomorrow or win the lottery to change your professional life. You simply need to commit to tiny, deliberate steps and trust that progress builds momentum. A reinvented career isn't a single leap. It's a series of pivots, each born from intention. And the best part? You don't have to wait for permission. You can start today, right now, wherever you are. Your dream career isn't a distant fantasy. It's the result of 6 small actions, repeated with heart, strategy, and belief. Are you ready to begin? When we analyze the deeper mechanics behind these 6 small actions, we discover a profound truth. Redefinition doesn't require reinvention. It requires realignment. Most professionals mistakenly believe that transforming their career demands massive changes, quitting their job, going back to school, or launching a risky startup. But in reality, the most powerful transformations come not from dramatic leaps, but from deliberate adjustments made consistently over time. Let's break this down further. When you reconnect with your strengths, you start to unlock flow, that state where effort feels effortless. That's not just about being good at something. It's about feeling energized by it. By identifying your zone of genius through feedback and self-reflection, you stop wasting time trying to fit molds and instead start sculpting a role that fits you. Now add in the habit of learning from someone ahead of you. This creates a ladder. Each mentor, guide, or peer who's even a few steps ahead provides a glimpse into possible futures. When you ask thoughtful questions, listen deeply, and apply what resonates, you collapse the learning curve. You get to skip some mistakes, gain context others don't have, and build confidence that's rooted in lived examples. This action creates not just clarity, but momentum. You start to see what's possible and begin shaping your trajectory with intentionality. Then, by creating consistent public value, you not only learn in public, but lead in public, even before you feel ready. Every small post, article, or comment acts as a signal telling the world, this is what I care about. This is where I'm growing. And soon people start to respond. They resonate, engage, reach out. It becomes a feedback loop that boosts your reputation and sharpens your message. The weekly career audit compounds this effect. It's your moment to zoom out and reflect. What did I do this week that moved me forward? Where did I procrastinate and why? Did I invest in my goals or just manage other people's agendas? These questions calibrate your inner compass. Without this reflection, we drift. With it, we direct. And this direction brings clarity. Clarity leads to confidence, and confidence attracts opportunities. It's like tuning an instrument. Weekly, gently, intentionally. Over time, you sound different. Not louder, but more in tune with your purpose. And then there's the magic of offering value before asking for anything. This is the social currency of long-term success. When you help others, not because you expect something in return, but because you genuinely care, you create social equity. People trust you. They root for you. They open doors you didn't even know existed. And in a world driven by connections and referrals, this often becomes the invisible engine behind career leaps. You become known not just for what you do, but for how you show up. And that, more than any credential, is what gets remembered. Finally, the power of quarterly career experiments cannot be overstated. These aren't just projects, they're prototypes of your future self. Each experiment reveals data. Did this excite me? Was I good at it? Would I want to do more of it? Over time, these mini projects create a portfolio of proof, not just to the world, but to yourself. Proof that you're adaptable, curious, capable of growth. And in a fast-changing world, that mindset of continuous exploration becomes your greatest asset. Because careers today are no longer linear, they're modular, built through skills, experiences, and relationships, not just titles and degrees. Together, these 6 actions create a latticework for transformation. They're like planting seeds across different parts of your professional garden, seeds that with time and care bloom into unexpected possibilities. The beauty lies in their simplicity. Anyone can do them. No need for fancy credentials or a massive audience. Just intention, repetition, and patience. Most people wait for a sign to start changing, but these actions become the sign. They signal to the world, and to yourself, that you are in motion, becoming someone new. And that's where reinvention begins. Not in the job you get next, but in the habits you build today. Here's what truly makes these 6 small actions revolutionary. They compound. Much like interest in a savings account, the results from these micro decisions start to stack up, accelerate, and reach a point where change becomes inevitable and visible. At first, the effects are subtle. You feel slightly more confident after a weekly audit. You write a thoughtful message to someone you admire, not expecting a reply. You post a short reflection about a lesson you learned this week. But then, weeks pass. That message turns into a coffee chat. That post turns into an invitation to speak. That audit helps you identify a toxic pattern and course correct before burnout. The shifts are small, until suddenly you look back and realize you're not the same person anymore. Reinvention isn't a single cinematic moment. It's not quitting your job in a dramatic farewell or launching a new venture overnight. It's about weaving small threads of courage, clarity, and consistency into your everyday routine. These actions, they rewire your identity. You go from someone who reacts to someone who designs, from someone who waits to be picked to someone who builds their own table. Each of the 6 steps doesn't just stand alone, they reinforce each other. The conversations you have with mentors influence your career experiments. Your weekly audits help you reflect on how your public value creation is going. Your offers of value turn into relationships that guide your learning. It becomes an ecosystem of growth. Now let's imagine this over a year. 52 weekly audits, dozens of small projects shared publicly, 4 career experiments, countless DMs, emails, and moments where you offer help without expectation. That's a year of intentional momentum. That's a portfolio. That's clarity. And clarity breeds conviction. You begin to speak differently, interview differently, pitch yourself differently. Because now you don't just want to grow. You have proof that you already are. That sense of direction, of progress, becomes magnetic. People start asking you what changed. Opportunities start coming not because you chased them, but because you attracted them through consistent value and authentic presence. And this is crucial in today's world of work. The market doesn't reward potential anymore. It rewards visible traction. You can no longer rely on resumes alone. You need evidence of who you are, what you believe in, and what problems you're capable of solving. That evidence is built through action, not status. And small actions are less risky, more adaptable, and easier to sustain. They allow for iteration. If one career experiment fails, no problem, and you learned. If one post doesn't resonate, great. Now you know what not to say. It's a game of curiosity, not perfection. In this model of reinvention, you become your own coach, curator, and creator. No more waiting for permission. No more hoping a single opportunity changes everything. You learn to craft opportunity by investing in yourself daily, by documenting your learnings, by sharing your journey, and by staying open to the serendipity that only shows up once you're already in motion. The question isn't whether these 6 actions work. It's whether you're willing to commit to them long enough to let them work for you. And that's where many give up. They try for a few weeks and stop when the results aren't immediate. But mastery and transformation don't respond to impatience. They respond to persistence. The professionals who rise, pivot, and thrive are the ones who understand this truth. The seeds you plant today shape the forest you walk in tomorrow. So plant wisely, act with intention, show up with generosity, and watch as your career slowly, steadily, and authentically reinvents itself from the inside out. Let's begin by exposing the trap that keeps most people busy but unproductive: shallow work. These are the hours spent answering emails, hopping between meetings, reacting to notifications, and multitasking through to-do lists that never seem to end. It creates the illusion of progress. You're always doing something, but rarely are you doing something that actually moves the needle. In contrast, deep work is focused, undistracted, high-value effort applied toward cognitively demanding tasks. It's the type of work that creates breakthroughs, not just checkboxes. And when practiced with discipline, 3 hours of it can outproduce 30 hours of shallow busyness. Think of the difference between scribbling notes and composing a symphony, between editing a few bullet points and writing a powerful chapter that changes someone's life. Deep work is where your real potential lives. It's the mental zone where ideas are born, problems are solved, and careers are transformed. But here's the truth few talk about. Deep work is hard. It requires training. It's a muscle, and most people have let that muscle atrophy through constant distraction. Notifications, social media, meetings without agendas, all of these chip away at your ability to think with depth. That's why creating space for deep work isn't optional. It's essential if you want to stand out in a noisy world. The good news is, you don't need 10 hours a day to reinvent your trajectory. You need 3 hours of protected, uninterrupted focus on a meaningful objective, repeated consistently, can outperform entire weeks of shallow output. Imagine this: 1 hour in the morning writing that proposal that could land you your dream client. 1 hour after lunch refining your product, your pitch, or your personal brand. 1 final hour, perhaps before you log off, spent analyzing, reflecting, or planning how tomorrow's deep work will be even sharper. That's not a fantasy, it's a system, and systems beat motivation every single time. Now let's build the exact framework that will allow you to actually implement these 3 daily hours of deep work and turn them into the engine of your career reinvention. First, block the time before anything else claims it. Your calendar is not just a reflection of your priorities, it creates them. Choose your 3 hours the night before and make them non-negotiable. Morning hours are ideal for most people, when willpower is high and the mind is less cluttered. If you can't do 3 in a row, split it into 2 or even 3 chunks, but protect them like gold. This is your sacred zone of progress. Let no email, message, or meaningless meeting enter it. Second, create a frictionless environment for focus. Turn off your phone or put it in another room. Close all tabs that aren't related to the task. Use noise-canceling headphones or ambient music if it helps you lock in. The goal here is to signal to your brain, we're going deep now. This state doesn't just happen, it's triggered. And the more consistently you create the same setup, same desk, same time, same tools, the faster your brain will learn to enter that deep work state automatically. Over time, this habit becomes identity. You're no longer someone who wants to get focused. You become someone who is focused. Third, work on what truly matters, not what's urgent, not what's easy, but what will make your future self proud. Ask yourself, If I only got one thing done today during this session, what's the one task that would create the most impact? That's your target. Start with the hardest part, the part that creates movement. Don't wait until you're in the mood or more prepared. Action creates clarity, and momentum is born from starting before you're ready. Do this every single day, and after 30 days, you won't just have output, you'll have transformation. Finally, let's explore the compound effect of executing these 6 small actions consistently, deliberately, and with intention. Because reinvention is never the result of one grand gesture. It's the outcome of dozens, hundreds, sometimes thousands of seemingly small decisions, each one stacking quietly over time. It's the micro that eventually transforms the macro. The 6 actions we've discussed aren't just habits, they are levers. And each time you pull one, you shift the direction of your career, even if you don't immediately feel it. Like a plane adjusting its course by a single degree, you might not notice the change in a day. But over weeks and months, you land in a completely different destination. That's the power of small, intentional movement repeated with purpose. Imagine where you'll be in 6 months if you start applying these actions today. Not imagining, but doing. Not consuming, but creating. Not reacting, but initiating. Imagine the confidence that will come not from external praise, but from the internal knowing, I kept the promises I made to myself. That level of self-trust is the foundation of all reinvention, because careers aren't just built on skill, they're built on belief. And belief comes from proof. The proof that you showed up today and yesterday and the day before that. No action is too small when it's aligned with who you're becoming. No shift is insignificant when done with consistency. That's how you move from stuck to unstoppable. The truth is, reinvention isn't about changing everything. It's about changing the right things. It's about identifying the bottlenecks, the outdated beliefs, the invisible scripts that are quietly limiting your potential, and replacing them with behaviors that actually serve you. It's about choosing courage over comfort, clarity over confusion, and action over perfection. And it starts now, not next year, not after another course, not once you feel ready. Now, with 6 small actions, pick one, implement it today, tomorrow pick another. And before you know it, you'll look up and realize you didn't just improve your career, you reinvented it from the inside out. Because here's the secret no one tells you. Your career doesn't need a miracle. It needs momentum. And momentum isn't built from massive, once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. It's built in the quiet, unnoticed hours where you choose to act when no one's watching. When you send that follow-up email. When you take that online course instead of doom scrolling. When you reach out to someone you admire. When you read for insight, not just information. When you write down your thoughts, your vision, your goals. These actions might not impress the algorithm, but they build the algorithm of your life. Each one creates a ripple, and over time, those ripples become waves of change that carry you to an entirely new professional identity. Let's be real. Reinvention isn't glamorous at the start. It feels awkward. It feels uncertain. You'll probably question yourself. You'll wonder if it's working. But that's how you know you're on the right path. Discomfort is the companion of growth. The key is not to wait for clarity before taking action. The clarity comes from taking action. You don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to take the next small step. And then another. And another. Eventually, you'll look back and realize you've climbed a mountain. Your network will notice, your skills will evolve, and most importantly, your mindset will shift from I hope to I create. You reinvent your career not when you get the dream job, but when you become the kind of person who attracts it. When your habits reflect your future, not your past. When your calendar matches your priorities. When your effort is aligned with your aspiration. And that's what these 6 actions do. They align your behavior with your potential. So don't underestimate them. Don't wait for the perfect moment. There's no such thing. The perfect moment is this one, the one where you decide that small steps are enough to begin. Reinvention isn't out there, it's already in motion. It starts the moment you say, I choose better, and then you do it, again and again, until your results have no choice but to catch up with your commitment.